YouTube, welcome to our channel where Immigrants Corner, that's right,
5.
episode 5. We're gonna talk about, if you're new to our channel, we talk about almost any topic, politics, history, current events, and this is based on our own opinion, our own experiences. Today's discussion is gonna be a fun one, the controversial. Very, very controversial. We're going to talk about privilege. We're not going to play color. We're just going to talk about the word itself, privilege. What does it mean?
From economic point of view.
From an economic point of view, from an immigrant point of view. And how privilege plays a big role in everyone's life. Now, this is not a color-based discussion or opinion. This is purely discussion about the word itself, privilege. Why privilege plays a big role for people who migrate to this great country. As you know, we both immigrants. We've been here. I've been here 27 years. He's been here 20 years. So I have 7 years on him. My experience coming here was we coming here, we knew we don't have a right. It's not a right to come to the United States. It's a privilege to come to the United States. And there's a reason why people want to come to the United States is because of all the opportunities it presents to its citizens. And coming here, we lacked knowledge as far as how to thrive, how to survive, what to do, what not to do. We had very little direction on how to live our lives. But I have to give thanks to our family who supported us from the beginning, basically to get our feet wet into this country and find our own ways. My migration to here was a lot different than his migration to the United States, and I think that's what makes this topic very unique for us, and the fact that we came here with absolutely nothing, zero knowledge, zero money. I didn't speak a word of English, and I
still don't.
I'm not even speaking English now. According to many of my friends, I slur my words, which is very true, and that's because I speak 5 languages. It has nothing to do with.
I think you're studying like Joe Biden.
Maybe I did. Listen, we can't make fun of that. I guess we're gonna get blocked. But I do speak 5 languages, and I'm very proud of that. I have to thank my parents for that. I have to, and the fact that I learned these languages growing up, it helps me understand more how difficult it is when you come to a new country and you have to learn new language, and coming here opened up my eyes a lot more as how much opportunities are presented here, how much opportunities we have and we had growing up as residents of this great country, and this is why I care about the fact that coming here legally gives you a lot more freedom to do and succeed. I think for both of us, we both had different lives growing up. I come from a regular blue collar family, very, very low income. I think we were below middle class growing up, and
working class.
Yeah, below working. And when we moved to United States, we stayed at that level, and that's only because my dad growing up, he was not a risk taker. He was just, hey, I'm a 9 to 5 type of guy, which is fine, which is not a problem. But my dad came here. He was still able to find job for himself. My mom, she worked for a short time. And my brother worked, I worked. I started working at age 17. But growing up, we were taught to basically, you need to work and get experience. You can't not work. And this goes, I think that goes that goes pretty far. I mean, you need experience in life.
Some of the, I think the experience as far as like a work missing is teenagers
Yeah.
getting their hands on and getting jobs. It used to be a lot of, fast food and stuff. It used to be teenagers doing a few hours after school, summertime and all that. And,
Yeah.
now they're saying they try to always say, oh, no, you were in school. And then next thing you know, somebody's like 35 years old, moving out of their parents' house, and that's their first job,
Yeah.
20-something, go to college, whatever. So they actually haven't had any real life experience.
Yeah, and
So-
and this is where privilege comes in. Okay, the privilege has nothing to do with our race, has nothing to do with the skin color, or how many languages you speak. The privilege comes in is that we had parents they were hard workers themselves. That they set an example to basically, if you want to live life, you need to work and be a good person, growing up. And that's what we try to basically show our kids, that hey, nothing's free, nothing's going to be handed to you.
Risks.
You have to be able to take risks, take calculated risks. And the most important thing in life is failing. If you don't fail, you don't learn.
And that's another reason I personally am
And that's
against
what
any kind of socialism.
That's where
because
privilege comes in, dude.
because it's
That-
take away your freedom of failure, right?
Yep.
If you have safety net and if the government is going to just make all the decisions for you, then it would be, let's say, as we discussed, let's say censorship. Or freedom of speech is not about you expressing yourself, is you need to have a freedom to hear other people's point of view that you might not even like, but your freedom to hear that. Same with when it comes to economics. System and capitalism, right?
Yeah.
It's not just the experience of, oh, I'm trying to succeed, it's also experience to fail, because a lot of people that they achieved great things, actually failed so many times before achieving a huge success.
Thomas Edison, man, how many times did he fail?
So, I mean, that failure
1,000
itself
times.
is part of the process. And nowadays, just people are afraid of failure. Everybody wants some sort of a safety net. Oh, I just want to be safe, which is comforting. You want to be able to make decisions, have savings, or plan, take calculated risk. But at the end, it comes down to we need to be able to participate in economic process. You cannot pamper the generation after generation and feed off literally from the previous generation. That's what we are doing now as far as national debt and stuff goes, right? I look at it as like a relay run, right? Every generation is passing a baton to the next generation, and you are competing with other nations, right? So America, with all the potential resources and stuff, has a head advantage, right? Because we have had previous generations sacrifice so much. It doesn't matter, immigrant, native, born, all backgrounds. Collectively, this country has been participated in that process and created this magnificent opportunity. The opportunity itself, that privilege, to me, it's not a privilege, it is a collection of sacrifices that over time has accumulated to become a benefit, so you can have a head-on advantage, right?
So
if I'm working hard, we came here with nothing, right? And we are doing well now, right? We have sacrificed so much to achieve this, so our children have a head start.
And we've taken risks on top of that. But that reminds me, a really good friend of mine once said that we create privileges for ourselves. And what does that mean? That means if you work hard, if you take calculated, not every risk is going to be a calculated risk, okay? And it doesn't mean that every time you take a risk, it's going to pay off well. No, that's not what it means. It means that you have failed so many times, big or small, doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you got up, you put your head up, and you tried again. And
you learn how to not fail.
Exactly. You learn how, and if you're continuously making the same mistake, then maybe you should not be taking risks. Period. But yeah, his words kind of stuck with me, saying, we create privileges for ourselves, which is very, very true. Because I, as an individual, I love having stuff. And I'm just not going to put myself in debt just because I love having stuff. But what I'm going to do is basically do something or help or push myself to a point that I can make extra money to have what I want. If it's toys, if it's tools, if it's electronics, if it's a nice watch, if it's a nice car, whatever it is, I will not dip into the steady income that I have that feeds my family, that puts a roof over my children's head, to entertain myself with, shiny objects. And that's the thing. I will create something. I will make something. I will, try it. I will try it. I will put my mind into something that is gonna have a good outcome. And that doesn't mean that it's gonna work every time. But if it works one time or twice or three times, then that means it's working. And we both have different passions for different things.
Right.
He has passions for history.
Arts.
He has more passion for history and arts. I have more passion for electronics and crafts and building stuff. I love building stuff. I love
to read.
I love using my hands. He reads for me and I make it. But what I'm trying to say is, in this country, you could build anything you want and you could sell it. Okay? That's why there's sites. There's eBay, there's Etsy, there's Amazon, there's God knows whatever apps that you could have on there. And what I'm seeing now is, this is the privilege. Everyone in this country is able and has the capability to do whatever they want. When I saw a post the other day, this guy, I don't know if it was real or not, who knows, this guy on a hot dog stand, okay? He said, I have a college degree, I went around, I couldn't find a job. What I did was I found a hot dog stand, I bought it, and I just became a business owner. And that's all it took. I saw a little kid, I saw another post, this little kid used a lawnmower, which was being up pretty much. It was really bad. But what he did was he went up to his neighbors. He asked his neighbors, hey, can I mow your lawn for $10? He mowed 10 houses. He made $100. He upgraded his lawnmower. He continued doing it. He made more money. He kept upgrading his lawnmower. And at the end of the year, he had a ride-on lawnmower. You know what he did? He took the hard labor out of it. He made enough money to be able to buy a machine that could basically speed up his process. His profit margin increased by a lot because now he can do more houses at a shorter amount of time. Now he's making more income. And eventually, within 2 or 3 years, he can hire somebody. And that's why I say that's a privilege. Is basically, no one's going to stop you from succeeding.
This madness right now with riots and
race
baiting and this media, gaslighting, literally just pitting people against each other. Oh, your eyebrow is this color, your armpit is this color. Who cares? Honestly, I understand we don't want to minimize dark pages of history that this country has gone through. But the success of this country is part of that process that so many people have sacrificed from all walks of life.
Yeah.
Right? And of course, there's some people have been disadvantaged, and you want to, be able to, okay, there are some incentives and stuff. Well, you can give incentive without giving a handout.
Right.
To me, let's say, it would say, hey, you are in a low-income area and you are in a disadvantaged area, as this administration is doing, opportunity zones.
Yeah.
We provide capital, low-interest loan. You come up with idea. The previous administrations gave tens of billions of dollars to the solar industries that they went bankrupt. Some of them, they took hundreds of millions of dollars
And
and
they
went bankrupt within 2 years, and those money,
gone.
taxpayers' money, the bailout went poof.
Gone.
And they didn't create nothing. And those, you can start so many small businesses and put so many people to work.
I mean, you have to realize
So-
why we lack skilled workers here. We lack skilled workers, and what I mean by skilled workers, but I mean plumbers, welders,
Any kind of trades.
masonry, any
Trades.
trade, anything that you could use your hand to build something, carpentry,
They can
anything.
make more money than absolutely college educated.
A plumber can make up to $120 an hour. A professional welder makes $150 an hour working independently. Do you know how much money that is like if you work a 10-hour day? That's $1,500.
You're welding 10 hours.
No. But I'm just giving an example.
You make a good income.
If you make $500 a day, working an 8-hour shift, you're making a good living. If you make $500 a day welding, you're making a very, very good living for yourself. You can succeed, and that's the problem. A lot of kids who go to school, and that's all they do is they go to school, they get a paper, and they expect a high income based on that paper.
This started in 60s. In 1960s,
And-
they started this college. Before that, not many
Yeah,
people
but
had college degree.
Also, I'm not saying education is bad.
I'm just putting it in perspective.
Yeah.
Right? You look at the society as a whole, right? All these buildings, everything around us needs maintenance, needs actually construction, all this stuff. Not everybody's going to be bookworm. You know what I'm saying? I love to read. Somebody else likes to do things with their hands. They do something else. Yeah, we need to create an economy that is actually like when it becomes like a capitalism, supply and demand. When you oversupply something as worthless degrees right now, people are taking $200,000 loans for a worthless degree that they come out and they can't
do anything with it.
Doctor's office job. That's not the fact that that degree doesn't worth, is there is no need for it, right? There is more need for people with trade. That's why they pay more money, even though that they don't have formal education.
Yeah. And don't be, and here's the thing, man. People think, oh, just because you work as a plumber, you work as a technician, an HVAC technician, or an electrician, or anything like that, that's a very degrading job. It's not.
It's not.
It is not a degrading job.
Yeah,
you know what?
so many odd jobs.
You know what?
Making it here.
You know what? If you don't know how to hammer a nail in the wall, you are worthless with that paper. You could take that paper and you're not going to make the same amount of money as that plumber or the electrician, because that knowledge that they have, it's not, I mean, it is difficult. You have to learn a lot. There's a lot of training involved. So they put their time in. They got trained. They learned how to calculate ampage. They learned how to understand electricity current movements and all that stuff.
And there is something about physical pain that actually put things in perspective.
Well, not all skilled work job require it's going to give you pain.
My own experience, let's say in the military, right? So people that they have been in military, usually, people that they become more realistic, right? Because physical pain, or people that they are into martial arts or sports or things like that, doing actually physical work, it gives you more sense of reality, right? Because you're not just overthinking things. It's not just inside your brain. You're actually doing something in real time with real world, so to speak. Yeah. So if all your job or your prospect of income is on theoretical or something, I'm just doing this. Not everybody's going to be a programmer. Not everybody's going to be a computer scientist. So, I mean, that's what...
or a YouTuber.
This is a hobby. This is a hobby. We are not looking to make necessarily money out of this.
Yeah, no, this is a hobby.
If it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, that's when it comes to, you said it's like an educated... Now we have succeeded to a point. Now we have the privilege of being able...
to pass our knowledge to somebody else that wants to use it.
To talk about different issues that we want.
Yeah. And again,
I worked 3 jobs in college, paid. I didn't took loan. Growing up, I worked every summer. My older brother was a mechanic, so I did mechanic shop, selling stuff, summertime. So after school, things like that. Especially coming from disadvantaged countries that we came from, wartime, war zone, Middle East, and all that. So you just put things in perspective. You actually value what you earn.
You don't know what recession is like unless you live in a third world country. Okay, you don't know what recession is like unless you live and grow up there. And this is why when we say privilege, we don't tie it to anything else but the fact that we worked our butt off to get what we are, to have what we have, and we created our own privileges, as our friend said.
People here go in the street very like a Mao, like a communist or a Gucci or whatever
the hell it is.
The Cuban or Castro or whatever, or Stalin or Lenin. You got Lenin's statue.
You have no idea. You have no idea.
There you go, and then they have a $1,500 iPhone, and they virtue signal about, we are better and this, and we care about poor people. When that phone in their hand is made in like a sweatshop, people making like 10 cents an hour or 20 cents an hour. You know what I'm saying? So before you go and just, my suggestion is, that's the whole thing with having a real life experience. We have been through so much. Literally faced life and death situations. So much sacrifices to get to the point that we actually, minimal level of success in this country. So for people that they already have a head start over here, I don't want to hear excuses. I don't want to hear their virtue signaling. I don't want to hear none of their victim mentality. Nothing like that.
You make yourself a victim. That's what you do.
Everybody who lives in this country, including homeless, are privileged. Because if you're homeless in other countries, you would be screwed big time. You're homeless over here, you get Nike on your foot that I don't buy. I don't spend like money to go and just spend $500 and sneakers and stuff like that. But if you're working at McDonald's and you go and spend $300 on sneakers, $500 on sneakers, $1,500 on a phone, which I never owned iPhone. I never had iPad. And then people, they say, okay, how did you succeed? Because those are smart people making those products for less fortunate. A lot of people that they don't even have minimal income, they go and buy those expensive products that they shouldn't be. I mean, if you're working minimum wage, the most expensive phone you need to buy is something to just work. If you can get a used one, do that. I did that. I still do that.
I buy used all the time.
Yeah.
I love buying used.
Refurbished.
And that's the thing. And this is the problem. We live
and then they complain about why they don't get ahead, why they're always in debt, or why
we live in a generation where everybody has to have the latest thing. Okay, the latest thing is the biggest mistake. And I'll tell you that now. And
wait.
Yeah, just wait a year. Nothing's gonna happen. You're not gonna miss. You're not gonna miss anything. Okay, and that's the thing. The privilege.
Trend.
You want to be part of the latest trend, and $300 pair of jeans, which is ripped in half. Why don't you buy a pair of jeans from a store that costs $40 and roll around in the grass, then sell it for $300? That's how you make money. That's how you make yourself privileged, and that's how you get yourself what you want.
My dad
any
always,
day.
God bless his soul, used to tell me, he says, like, if you do this, and as far as business, he tried to provide the opportunity, for my older brother to start his own business. And he always used to say, for every blind salesman, there's a blind customer. So with that being, no matter what you do, there's always somebody just
somebody else
using that service. So
exactly.
Always working for yourself, or hopefully, even if you don't, it's fine. Just be smart with your money. Try to invest as much as you can.
Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to take risks.
Take chances.
Take chances. Take risks. If you need information, ask. I mean, there's nothing wrong with asking.
There's no shortage of information.
There is no shortage of information. Jesus, you know how much YouTube I've watched in my my lifetime, I swear, I think I have 2 PhDs from YouTube right now. From watching so many videos, I'm trying to learn how to do something. With that being said, thank you guys for watching our episode. Please share, subscribe, hit the bell button, leave a comment, leave any topics that you guys want us to talk about. We're gonna have more items and more products coming out. We're gonna try to, have new topics at all times. We don't want to keep reading the news because it's starting to get very boring. So many people doing it. So we want to focus.
We just want to just more share our experience and hopefully in the future bring more people engage in conversation and have different experiences.
And that's only because we don't see a lot of voices. There's not
immigrant communities.
Right. We don't see anybody like maybe they're out there. We just don't see it. But with that being said, we love you. Thank you for everything. And subscribe. God bless America. Of course, any day.
Peace.
Peace. Subscribe, share, and hit the ring.